When the Spanish founded Mexico City in the 16th century, they built everything on top of Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire. In the city's historical center, there are Baroque monuments constructed with recycled pre-Columbian blocks, and the excavated ruins of the Templo Mayor sit beside the cathedral and national palace. This sums up Mexico City as a fusion of European and indigenous culture, visible in the art of Frida Kahlo, who was born and died in Mexico City, and the magical murals by her husband, Diego Rivera. The Palacio de Bellas Artes has pre-Columbian motifs rendered in an Art Deco style. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in Mexico City so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Palacio de Bellas Artes. A cultural venue fitting for the capital, the Palacio de Bellas Artes is a stirring historicist and Art Nouveau monument on the east side of the Alameda Central Park. While the building was started in 1904, construction was delayed in 1913 and wouldn't be resumed until the early 30s. So the interior has a later Art Deco design, calling on pre-Hispanic motifs like Maya Chac masks on light fittings and serpents' heads on window arches. On a typical day, you can head to the first floor for murals by Diego Rivera. At number 9 is the Chapultepec Castle. At the top of the rocky Chapultepec Hill in the namesake forest, the palatial Chapultepec Castle was begun in 1783 and is the only castle in the Americas existing from the days of New Spain. A Mexican Versailles, with formal gardens and great views of the city from terraces, Chapultepec was a summer residence for the viceroy and, after the revolution, became the seat of Emperor Maximilian I. Over the last 240 years, the complex has been an observatory and military academy, and today houses the National History Museum. At number 8, National Palace. Filling the whole eastern boundary of the Zocalo is the facade of the National Palace, which has the iconic balcony where the president gives the Grito de Dolores in honor of Mexican independence. When you're staring at this mammoth complex started in the 16th century for the conquistador Hernán Cortés, you may get a thrill to consider that it was partially built with stone from Moctezuma II's Aztec palace that was here before. Head through the central portal to see the botanical garden and grand courtyard. At number 7, Paseo de la Reforma. A broad avenue running diagonally through the city center, the Paseo de la Reforma is from the 1860s and was inspired by the grand boulevards in fashion in Europe at the time. The route is flanked by embassies, skyscrapers, and occasional stands selling tacos and tortas. There's no better introduction to the city for sightseers as the Paseo de la Reforma will lead you right through the Bosque de Chapultepec and passes in front of the National Anthropology Museum. At number 6 in our list, Guadalupe. Mexico's national shrine is one of the world's most visited places of Catholic worship. On the Marian Square of the Americas, it is set near Tepeyac Hill, where Juan Diego, the first indigenous saint on the American continent, is claimed to have witnessed Marian apparitions on 4 occasions in December 1531. There are 2 basilicas on the square. The older dates to 1709, but it needed to be replaced in the mid-1970s when it was found to be sinking and has opened again only recently after foundation repair. At number 5, Museo Soumaya. The most frequented art museum in Mexico, the Museo Soumaya, was founded by the country's richest man, Carlos Slim, and moved into a striking new building, clad with hexagonal metallic tiles, on Plaza Carso in 2011. The museum was originally established in the early 90s and is named for Slim's wife, Soumaya Damit, who passed away in 1999. Inside is a vast and varied collection of art spanning 3,000 years. There are Mexican paintings from the 19th and 20th centuries. At number 4, Teotihuacan. The wonderful Mesoamerican city of Teotihuacan is in striking distance and is something you must make time for. At the height of its power in the 1st century, Teotihuacan was the largest city in the Americas and the 6th largest in the world. The city has residential quarters, temples, a palace, and 2 pyramids in excellent condition. The astronomically aligned 2.5-kilometer Avenue of the Dead bisects the city, beginning in the north with the Pyramid of the Moon and flanked by astounding ceremonial architecture. At number 3 in our list, Calle Madero. East to west between the Torre Latinoamericana and Plaza de la Constitution, Calle Madero is a pedestrianized street in the historical center, mixing shops with historic mansions and churches. The street was only closed off to road traffic in the early 2010s, a project that was first greeted with skepticism but is now celebrated. Some things to look out for are the Casa de los Azulejos, modeled in 1793 and coated with blue and white tiles fired and painted in Puebla. At number 2, Torre Latinoamerican. At the corner of each Central and Calle Madero, Torre Latinoamericana has been a resilient presence in Mexico City since 1956. At 204 meters high, including its spire, it was the tallest building in Latin America when it was completed. Due to the capital's constant seismic activity, the tower was given an innovative steel frame with piles deep in the muddy soil. No more than a year after it went up, it withstood a destructive earthquake and an even more powerful one in 1985 that toppled many buildings around it. Check out the number 1 places in our list, National Anthropology Museum. The place where you can feed your curiosity about Mexico's pre-Columbian cultures, the National Anthropology Museum is rich with artifacts and anthropological exhibits spanning millennia. More than a trip into Mexico's past, the museum cuts to the core of modern Mexican identity and pays tribute to its indigenous people. There's in-depth information and artifacts, reliefs, statues, murals, and much more for every pre-Hispanic culture on Mexican territory, including the Olmecs, Mayans, and Aztecs. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Mexico City? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.